Hey, how's it going? We are here again to talk to you about some more of our fostering experiences, and we just kind of want to tell you about the requirements as far as the classes that you have to take yearly.
For us, we generally get it with the classes that they make us take anyway, so it's not a big deal. But again, when I was with just straight CPS, I had to do. They had like foster parent meetings that counted for like hours, and you could read like a book about a kid in foster care. There's a book called "The Boy Called It." I read that one year, and just other movies count too. But just so you're getting some education on,
Yeah. And our agency
What's
actually
changing?
has that too. You can do those things also, but
Yeah.
like she said, most of the classes that they require us to take kind of take up those 20 hours, and it might be different with every agency again. And throughout all of our videos, you're going to see that we're going to talk about Jonathan's Place. They give us a lot of support, and I think that we appreciate that a lot. And the classes that they require us to take, I feel like, are huge for us as parents and foster parents. I mean, every time we take one, it's the same class every year, which is behavioral intervention techniques. And I can tell you that every time I take this class, I walk away with something new that I did not learn the first time.
Yeah, and for like the next 2 weeks, we're great parents. And I think that's why they make you take it every year, because it's like New Year's. You're like, I'm gonna work out this year, and for 2 weeks, man, you hit hard, and then after that. But it's good to have a refresher and be like, oh yeah, let's look them in the eye, take a little more time, not just be like, get out of my room.
Yeah.
We just want to talk a little bit about one class we took at Children's Hospital, which basically taught us how to do play therapy with our kids, and it really helped us bond with our children and helped them get out feelings and all that.
Yeah, this was a class that actually was not required every year. They just sent us an email that said, hey, Children's Hospital is offering this child play therapy class. If you'd like to do it, you need to contact this person. And, I just wanted to see what it was about, and we did it. And thankfully, they provided childcare for us while we did this. And while we're in the class, that's a huge, plus for us. We're all about learning, and if somebody can help us watch our kids, we're about that too.
It was like a little date night for us. So
Yeah, we were
come
stoked to
take
be
this
there.
class, and there's childcare. Like, we'll be there 5 o'clock in the middle of the week. Sold.
But I think it was a great class. I mean, like she said, we learned a lot, and we got to bond with our kids, and sometimes we forget to set aside 30 minutes to just give them that one-on-one attention, and that's basically what this class was giving them one-on-one attention for 30 minutes. You set a timer, you pulled out all these toys that you've never pulled out before, and that could only be pulled out during this time, and you had to do whatever they wanted to do within rules. Like, you couldn't beat each other with the toys if they wanted to, and they didn't, I don't think.
Now you say, people aren't for hitting.
Yeah.
Yeah, stuff like
And you
that.
teach them things like that, and I think it helped, and we just let them pick whatever they want to do. Our son that we had at the time, like, he always picked coloring. I mean, he'd always maybe start out with something else different for like a very few minutes, and would immediately go to coloring every single time. I mean, I think we still have one of his coloring pages up in our bathroom. And what I learned from him was that I feel like that was the time that he got out his feelings, and it was with, like, we weren't allowed to ask questions. We had to try to let them lead the whole session, and it was a little bit hard because I like to ask a lot of questions, for those of you that know me. And so we let him do it, and he always picked coloring, and he always would tell me something new about his parents that I never knew before. C was with our daughter at the time, so I don't know, what was your experience?
She just likes being in charge all the time. So she loved just being in charge and getting to do what she wants. She was kind of like, do I really get to do this? And in the class, you're supposed to not really answer the questions. Like, if they say, oh, is this great? You'd be like, oh, well, how do you feel? It's very play therapy, psychobabble type of stuff. And she was like, she could tell I was acting different. She's like, why are you acting like that? I'm like, why do you think I'm acting like this?
Yeah.
So it was fun. It was definitely, I mean, I think any one-on-one time with the kids is, I mean, they really treasure, because like we said, there's 6 of them, so it's not really profound to spend one-on-one time with your kids, but when you're in a class and they hold you accountable for it, it's a little bit easier to make the time to do it.
Yeah, and I think it unfortunately is something that every single one of us as parents forgets to do all the time. Like, yes, we're with them on a day-to-day basis. Yes, we sit down and do homework with them and make sure that they do all the things that they're supposed to be doing, but, you know, a lot of time we forget to just set aside that time for them to do something with them, to give them that one-on-one attention. And I think that was the biggest thing that I learned from it was, oh my gosh, I didn't realize I wasn't doing this. And they, like she said, it held us accountable and made us do it, and I enjoyed it. And you know, when the class was over, we tried to keep up with it, and we haven't quite done that in the last few months, to be honest, which I think we'll probably pick it back up now that we're telling everyone. But it really does make a difference, and I think you notice that with your kids whenever you see what you're doing with them and what they're saying and how they're changing, and, you know, things like that.
So if you want to do it with your kids, you step one, get a bunch of toys that you've never played with before. They don't have to be new, just new to your kid. Put them in a box away from all the other toys, because these toys are just for what we call special playtime.
Which we did tell them they need to change that name, because,
Yeah.
you know, our son was like, oh, I had special playtime with mommy in her room, and they were kind of like,
Yeah, to
what?
his lawyer, and the lawyer was like, there you go. So step one, get a bunch of toys, put them in a box away from your kiddo, and then include like a blanket or something, like a border, so all the toys are going to be on the border, so they're not just running around your whole house and jumping on couches. Because when you ever give your kids like a free for all to do whatever they want, your house is going to be destroyed. And then set a timer and do a lot of reflection. So if they're really happy to do something, you be excited.
For our son, for example, when he was coloring, and you could just see him smiling, like you're supposed to say things like, wow, I like that. Coloring sure does make you happy.
Yeah. You're so excited about those Legos.
Yeah, and, you know, like, surprisingly, it sounds kind of silly to say, but, man, they love it so much, and you can just see that it makes them feel so good. And
Yeah, and if you can kind of incorporate those into your regular parenting, it really helps too.
our teachers, our instructors for this class always gave us these little cards, and it said an appointment with mom or dad, and you would give it to them because it made them feel so excited and so special that, oh, I get to have this playtime with mom or dad, or mom and mom, or dad and dad, or whatever, whoever was there. You know, they were just excited that they got that, and we gave it to them every week, and our kids would get so stoked. And, you know, I just think that helped in making them feel like it was just for them.
Yeah, the point of this is to bond with your child, which is sometimes a little bit difficult with your kids in foster care because, for whatever reason, you know, they have issues with maybe their parents didn't set aside time for them, or they don't want to attach to you. You know, the point of the whole thing is to bond with them. But it works for your biological children or foster children, so give it a try.
And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask us. And, you know, I'm an open book, and I make CB an open book, so feel free to ask.